Welcome to The Wall. Today, we're watching modern women complain about men, while many of them create the very problems they criticize. Hypocrisy at its finest. Before we dive in, smash that like button and subscribe. We're racing to 150K subscribers before March, and you can help make it happen.
Being cheated on or discovering partner's secret porn use can absolutely cause PTSD, and here are some symptoms to look out for. First and foremost, having intrusive thoughts and constantly having flashbacks of the betrayal. It's like it replays on a loop in your mind. You picture him, what he was doing with her. You picture all the scenarios, and you cannot get these flashbacks out of your head. Secondly, hypervigilance, feeling like you're just constantly on edge and you don't feel safe around people, feeling like you're constantly scanning for threats, whether you're still in the relationship, you're constantly monitoring his behavior, or if you left the relationship, you are avoiding people, places, and things that remind you of your partner because you don't feel safe in those scenarios anymore. Also, self-blame is a huge one. Blaming yourself, thinking that you caused this, thinking that you could have done something to prevent it, when in reality, it actually had nothing to do with you. This was just the result of his actions that were unrelated to you. Also, just having negative changes in thoughts and behaviors in general. If you used to be this happy-go-lucky person and now you feel like your innocence was lost and you feel skeptical and you feel like you can't trust others, and it's difficult for you to form new relationships with people because you don't feel like you can trust them, even people who were your long-standing friends and families, you always just feel like this sense of on edge, and especially you don't feel safe around men either. Also, having sleep disturbances, if you're waking up with nightmares, if you can't fall asleep at bed because your mind is constantly racing. I'm not saying you have PTSD, but these are all very common signs of having PTSD post-betrayal trauma. And so it's really important that my number one recommendation for any girl going through this is to prioritize your nervous system regulation. And I have a guide in my bio.
Oh, hell no!
Comparing watching pornography to a betrayal that causes PTSD is absurd. No one is saying that porn is good for men. In fact, it's generally not recommended because it can distort reality and affect relationships. But calling it betrayal trauma is just a convenient way to play the victim without context. If a woman reacts this way because her partner watches porn, the problem isn't the man. It's her insecurity and distorted perception of the relationship. It's like saying that watching an action movie is the same as going out and starting a fight. Porn may be a bad habit, but it's not infidelity. And if her reaction is that extreme, maybe she should ask herself why she depends so much on her partner's validation instead of seeking her own emotional stability.
People always get so shocked when I tell them that I would not care if my boyfriend cheated on me. I wouldn't care one bit. And they're like, what do you mean you wouldn't care? I'm not saying I wouldn't dump him, because I would. He'd be gone, he'd be out. I wouldn't break a sweat, I would not care. I do not care if you cheat on me. Because when a man cheats on you, or a lady, or a they, it has everything to do with them and absolutely freaking nothing to do with you. Nothing. You could be doing everything right. If a man don't want to be loyal to you, he is not going to be loyal to you. If a man is not ready to settle down, he is not going to settle down. Period. And then people are like, you wouldn't be sad? Like, you wouldn't be so depressed? No. No, I would not. No, I would not. I'd be sad that they betrayed me, especially like, for example, my current partner. We live together now. So that's like a pretty big deal. It's the first time I've ever lived with a guy. But if we're being hella real right now, I know what I bring to the table. I have a great career. I'm low-key kind of cute. I'm funny. Like, I'm genuinely like awesome. So I welcome it. This person's not gonna be the last person to ever lay eyes on me and fall in love with me. And you gotta live life with that kind of confidence. This man doesn't want to act right for you. Trust me. There are a million other guys out there. Please. I would be so excited if I were you and I just got cheated on. So excited. I'm excited for you. If you just got cheated on, be hyped. Be excited that now you get to find someone that actually cares about you, actually loves you, actually wants to be loyal to you. Whatever, there's so many people out in this world, you're gonna find someone else. Look at you, look at God. Congratulations on getting cheated on, babe.
Here we have a mix of self-deception and arrogance disguised as confidence, saying, I don't care if I get cheated on, while also claiming she'd leave instantly proves that she does care. She's just trying to spin it as an emotional victory. Now, the real fact, 56% of men who cheat do it due to a lack of intimacy, not a lack of love. But that part gets ignored because it would mean taking some responsibility in the relationship. It's much easier to say, he did it because he wanted to, than to ask whether she stopped contributing something. But hey, keep believing there will always be a million other options. Let's see if that mindset holds up when the market stops responding.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if somebody fucking cheated on you, they don't love you, they don't care about you, they don't respect you, and they probably don't fucking like you. Because if they felt any of those things towards you, they would have never fucking cheated. Stop making excuses for them. Stop thinking that they're gonna change. Stop thinking that it was your fault. You need to fucking leave. Why do you want to be with somebody that cheated on you? Why do you want to be with somebody that went and hooked up, kissed, talked, flirted, whatever, with somebody else? They don't care about you. I'm sorry, but the only solution is to leave and go find somebody that actually appreciates you. Because if somebody loves you, they are not going to think about anybody else. And all that bullshit of, they say they're going to change. They said that they're going to do better. They said that they're never going to do it again. Okay. But you still cheated on me, right? You still cheated. So you can go do better for somebody else because you already did it to me. Please love yourself more and value yourself more than staying with somebody who clearly doesn't value you at all.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
By their logic, if someone loves you, they won't think about anyone else, right? So what happens when women fantasize about another man, swoon over actors in romantic shows, or keep friends who are clearly waiting for a chance? Does that also mean they don't love their partner? Because the standard should be the same for both sides. 56% of men who cheat do it due to a lack of intimacy, not a lack of love. But of course, that's not convenient to admit because it would mean acknowledging that women also have responsibility in the relationship. Brothers, responsibility is kryptonite for women.
There's a period of time before you find out for sure that your spouse is having an affair where you might subconsciously know that your spouse is having an affair. We live with our spouses day in and day out for most of the time years, and we get to know the subtle nuances of how they move through the world, how they act, and what their patterns are. And we usually intuitively know if something changes and shifts ever so slightly with our spouse. So there's an intuitive knowing that happens before the real knowing, because it's almost as if the winds change in your house, ever so slightly, but you know it, and you know that something's different. You might then find yourself doing things that you never thought you would do and that you're not proud of, like looking through your spouse's phone, snooping, smelling their clothes before you put it in the laundry, checking their jacket pockets for receipts, checking their jackets for hairs that aren't yours. These behaviors are normal, and it's normal to want to look for evidence for why things might feel different when all you have is a feeling.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch!
Bruja, she's crazy. This is anything but normal. Checking pockets, sniffing clothes, snooping through his phone just because the winds changed. This isn't intuition, it's pure paranoia. And the worst part? She justifies it as if it were a logical and healthy part of a relationship. If a man did this, he'd be called controlling, toxic, and jealous. But when a woman does it, it's intuitive knowledge. Here's the problem. Instead of communicating with her partner like an adult, she turns the relationship into a witch hunt that only poisons it. And if by chance the man isn't cheating, he's already been judged and sentenced without evidence. Then they wonder why men feel suffocated in their own homes.
If I was cheated on or found a secret porn use or addiction, here's what I would do as a girl who went through this a year and a half ago, and now I help coach other women who are navigating this. First and foremost, nervous system regulation. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is what helps get rid of the anxiety, the rumination, the constantly replaying the memories and having the flashbacks of the betrayal and obsessively thinking about what happened. This is what helps alleviate that, and I have a guide in my bio to help women go through that. Secondly, decenter men. That doesn't mean you need to hate men. It just means you're going to stop prioritizing your life out of seeking validation for them. And I would start getting really clear on understanding how much the patriarchy has put this in my head and how much I do not need this. I do not need to seek male validation. Third, I would prioritize making strong female friendships with girls, people who will support you and uplift you and join support groups. So to have your feelings validated, to know you're not alone in this. And I also have one of those as well. Lastly, start expanding your world. Get hobbies, get creative interests, start focusing on nutrition or health, start focusing on career or getting a promotion. Start to find something to expand your world outside of this one man. The more you try to orbit your world around him, the deeper and deeper this betrayal is going to heal. But if you start to expand your world and focus on friendships, focus on career, focus on nutrition, focusing on getting a promotion at work, doing anything else but just focusing on him, that is going to help the betrayal feel less. And you're going to start to find the good in all of this, because you're going to start to create a life that feels better than the one that you had when you were or are with him.
Here we have a feminist creating more single women. This whole speech isn't about healing. It's about turning resentment into a business. You can tell she's more hungry for clients than actually helping people. The best part? The guide in her bio and the support groups that she coincidentally runs. Brothers, these days, everything is a business, even pain. They disguise it as empowerment, but the real goal is to keep women trapped in a cycle of victimhood so they never break free. And of course, what's the solution? Forget about men, bury yourself in work, and buy my guide. There's no real intent to heal, just to keep fueling the bitterness so the money keeps rolling in. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. If cheating means not loving, does denying intimacy mean the same? If men don't matter, why can't they stop talking about them? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.